everyone, and welcome to the channel. I haven't talked about this in a while, and I wanted to touch on a favorite subject of mine that is always been fascinating to me my whole life, and it never ceases to amaze me. Every once in a while, it just keeps on going, and I love it, which is dreams, specifically speaking, vivid dreams, weird and bizarre dreams, and the nature of these things, and what do they truly mean? What do they mean? Because it's truly hard sometimes to try to decipher or figure out the meaning of certain dreams that we have. And lately, I was actually having this conversation with my son last weekend, about some of these dreams, that reoccurring dreams, that you may have, and how bizarre it is sometimes. It makes absolutely no sense. The other thing is, my fridge. I hate my fridge. The other thing is, what happens is, sometimes you have these vivid dreams that they feel so real that it feels more real than reality itself. And that's crazy stuff. And I hope you guys can relate to what I'm talking about, because I'm sure we all experience this thing. We all experience these things at some point in our lives. The other thing that happens to me quite often, that I don't understand why, is, sometimes you dream about a person that you haven't seen them in 20, 30 years maybe, and then they show up in your dream. And most of the time, because you're not conscious and aware when you're in that state, you don't question these things. So for you, it feels normal. It seems normal at the moment as it's happening, if you're not aware, if you're not having a real vivid dream, right? And then after you wake up, you wonder and you ask yourself, why in the hell did I dream about this person out of nowhere like that? It makes absolutely no sense. But I think that sometimes what happens is, it might have something related to the fact that, these people may be thinking about us as of the moment that you're having those specific dreams. And that might explain why you would see someone who you haven't seen and haven't spoken to in 10, 20, 30 years. It's crazy stuff. Other things that we dream about all the time that, we never question, and it makes no sense, but it's quite common and normal, is we dream about certain people in our lives. It could be people that we don't see in a very extended period of time, or it doesn't have to be that, but for me specifically, it's been that way. And every time I dream about them, they are still in their younger version of themselves, so they don't look anything like what they look like today. They look like the younger version of them that I remember, whether when they were kids, especially when it's family related stuff. I don't know why, a lot of the times when I dream about, when my son is in my dreams, he's still a young kid, very young. And that happens a lot when I dream about my brothers as well. Usually they're always younger. My mother is always younger in my dreams. I often dream about my grandparents that have been passed for many, many years now. Every once in a while I see them in my dreams. They're always happy, always having a good time, or always having some sort of like family gathering, whatever. I just think this whole dream aspect of life is like one of the most fascinating subjects that there is. And unfortunately, in my opinion, not enough research is dedicated to that subject because science is lame, right? They don't try to explain these things using legitimate means. And what do I mean by that? That for science, their explanation of a dream is that it's all happening in our brain as we are resting and our body sleeps. But if you understand anything about the esoteric side of things and the spiritual side of things, you understand and you will know that that's not the case. And when we are dreaming, it's our oversoul, our soul, our spirit that is experiencing things in a different dimension and reality that is very similar to the same physical reality that we live in here, but it's got its own set of rules and laws, so to speak. For instance, we all know that when you're dreaming, you can fly. So there's no such thing as gravity when you're dreaming. If you're awake in the dream and vivid, you can do all kinds of things. You can instantly teleport somewhere by just thinking of that place. When you're having a vivid dream, you can tell yourself, I want to go to Egypt. You'll be there instantly. You can fly. You can you can you can cross through solid matter. You can grab your finger like this and pull it, and it'll stretch like those stretch dolls, toys that exist. You know what I'm talking about? You can do all these things if you're aware and awake in a dream, if you're having a vivid dream. So that shows that there's all these different rules when it applies to the soul aspect of things. And there's elasticity, there is no gravity, there is this mind over matter thing that you can do whatever you want. You can instantly think of things and make them materialize right in front of you. You can teleport. You can do all kinds of crazy things when you're dreaming. Because, like I said, that's a different dimension. So different rules. But then there's this whole thing as above, so below, right? Which means that a lot of these things that we can do in dreams are also possible to be done here in the physical realm to many, many degrees. But you have to develop these things, obviously, because it's not going to be as easy over here as it is over there. But think of it in the sense of, like when you're like manifesting things, right? In the dream realm, it's instant. Over here, not so much. There is quite of a delay because, the things come from top down. Before something happens here, it has to happen on the upper side of things, and of course there it happens instantly, but then it takes a while to come down here. It's all, you have to look into this stuff, but it's pretty, I love this subject, and I love talking about these things because it just shows us that there is so much about the world and these realms and reality itself that we don't even have a grasp on it or understanding on how these things actually work. And we've been bamboozled our whole lives because of this, constructed system that we have, where we are told things are a certain way and it's not true. And because we don't teach ourselves, and we are not told or taught to be able to think for ourselves and question things since early childhood, some of us are blessed with this remembering that we don't know where it comes from, but we have that remembering. So we know that they are BSing us since we're little. We know. And if you're one of those people, congratulations. Welcome to the club. It's a gift, in my opinion. You know, not everybody can see these things, but a lot of us, we are born with these, and we remember, we have this remembrance. So that's why, you know, when we go to school and we're being indoctrinated and all this stuff, we're telling ourselves, yeah, right, you keep telling yourself that. I'm not buying it. Because we know. Because we have this longing of searching for the truth, and then knowing the nature of how things really truly happen, and having this ability, capability of not only, you know, creating things ourselves, and also questioning the nature of the things that we are being told that are a certain way, when in fact that is not the case, and we're being lied and deceived, manipulated, controlled, right? YouTube hates these words, let me tell you. This video is probably not going to get a lot of views, but I don't care. You know? Yeah, there's this thing about certain words and things that you use in things you upload, that they will not have your video reach a lot of people, because you're spilling the beans and they don't like that. But it is what it is, right? And yeah, so this is really all I wanted to talk about when it comes down to the dreams and things like that, because I think it's amazing. It's really awesome. And I don't know about you guys, but like I said, I was talking to my son last weekend, and I've been having all kinds of weird, crazy, bizarre dreams lately that I'm trying to figure out what it means. So anyway, if you like the content and it resonates with you, make sure that you please like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and reach more people. And with that said, I will catch you all on the next one. Take care and be safe, everyone.